Hi, PB kids. I hope you've had a great start to 2023. This week, we're celebrating Epiphany Sunday. The Epiphany happened on January 6th, and it's the day we celebrate when the Magi met baby Jesus. The Magi were faithful and followed God's directions for a long time, all in search for baby Jesus. But just because they were being led by God, that doesn't mean it was easy. They traveled a really long time. Some people who study the Bible think they were probably traveling for years. They were obedient and went where God led them. There were probably times it wasn't easy or fun, but they did it because they loved God and loved Jesus and were committed to the hope he promised people. When the Magi finally got to Jesus, they brought gifts. They brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But the Magi would have never been able to give these gifts to Jesus if they hadn't been obedient to God's directions and continued on their journey to search for Jesus, even when it wasn't fun or easy. You see, the Magi followed God's directions every day for a long time until they got to Jesus. They didn't give up. And they showed up every day to move forward in what God was calling them to do. This is no small thing. In fact, this might be more important than all the frankincense, gold, and myrrh in the world. Because when we say yes to what God has in store for us, even when we don't know what it looks like yet, incredible things can happen. This year, there's going to be a lot that happens. Some really good, some really bad, and a lot in between. But God is there with you through all of it. When we follow Jesus, not everything will be easy, but a lot of the time, God wants us to be willing to show up and say yes to what he has in store. When we say yes to what God has for us, we quickly learn that God's right there by our side and is faithful. This year won't be perfect, but you're not alone. God is there with you, and he's also given you friends and family to remind you what his love looks like on earth. How will you say yes to what God is calling you to this year? We have announcements. We're headed to Loch Leven next week for winter camp, and can't wait to tell you all about it. If you are in grades 6 through 12 and interested in going, there's still time. Let me know if you're interested. January 29th, we're going to have a PB Kids and Youth Game Day after the service. Lunch will be provided, and I'll see you in the K through 5 room. Remember, you are special and loved just the way you are by God. Have a great week.